This is Montera Middle School, which is the biggest middle school in Oakland. We serve students from 50 elementary schools feed up to our site. We have a very diverse population as a result of that. I'm Krishna Feeney, and I teach 8th grade Math 8 and Algebra Compression, which is 2 years of math in 1 year. So it's 8th grade math and 9th grade math in 1 year. On the first day of school, I had a total of 12 chairs in here and no tables at all. So I started the first couple of days of school. I had 34 kids in here with 12 chairs. And we worked on the floor, we spread out, and it was actually fine. But then Mr. Branch said, oh, actually, I'm going to be getting all of these standing desks. And I was like, he's like, are you interested in this? I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. What is that? I did a little bit of research about them, and I went on your website and watched some of the videos and, read up on them, pros and cons of them from the tech industry. And I thought it sounds really exciting. My experience is it's hard to sit all day. I think it's fundamentally unreasonable thing that we ask kids to do, which is to sit and pay attention, for 6 hours a day, every day, from kindergarten until 12th grade. I don't really think that that's a reasonable request. So I was really excited to have at least, to give it a shot and to see where it would go.
When I first saw them, I was super juiced. When I first saw them come out of the box, I was like, yes, like this is awesome, right? Some students can sit for many hours and listen and focus. That's great, right? But some can't. And so having a system that allows our students to be able to be standing and be able to have the energy flowing, and if they need to lean, if they need to put it down and grab a seat, they could do that also. But knowing that when I stand up, I'm not causing a disruption.
So they came in late one night and set them all up. They instantly started messing around with them, and we did a little bit of talking about them. I just introduced some of the stuff I had found on the internet about studies about how they benefit both engagement and health, and then we talked about how to operate them, and ultimately they received it pretty well. Some of them were a little bit concerned about never being able to sit, and I said, well, we have a few chairs, so if you really need to sit, just go grab a chair, it's fine. I'd say overall, for most students, it does help with sort of the fidgeting issues, and I think it does help with engagement for some students more than others, though. It's like, I think it's really individual.
It's more like, it gives you more energy, I think, because you're not just sitting down. It feels more active, I think.
This helps me pay attention longer, just because, like when I'm sitting, it's kind of easier for me to just doze off, but when I'm standing, it keeps my energy up.
And they're always in action. They're always working. They're always engaged. Some are sitting, some are standing. I think in this class there was some issues in the beginning with spatial, like in the back, the students in the front couldn't see, so they said, well, if you want to sit, you go there, here. But then a lot of students wanted to be in the back, and so they had to really think of how to do that. So I think they're making it work for their own selves. It gives choice. And it gives options, and I think the more we can give our students option on how they access the learning, the more we're going to be able to educate them.
For me, the most important thing is that my kids are working together, and they've been really effective in having kids, collaborate. That was the only thing I was, concerned about with having individual desks. I've always had tables and table groups. But it's nice because it offers some flexibility for different sized groups, for not just always being in a group of 4, but being able to split into different sizes. And when we need to, if we're taking a test, we can split into full individual, or if somebody just needs to take some space, they can do that. They can just take their desk and take a break. So like right now we're doing a lot of work around linear functions and sequences and nonlinear functions and all the different ways to represent those. So we were doing, diagramming, graphing, tables, equations. They'll collaborate often to make one final product. I'll give them a particular task, so usually it's like a very in-depth problem that takes a lot of thinking, and then steps of things that they need to produce, and they'll break off into a team together to work through the math and then lay out whatever explanations I'm asking for. we split into groups of 2 often, and when they do that, like if they're at a group of 4, and I'll be like, get into partners, then they tend to move their desks a little bit.
When we're in groups, we try to keep them at the same level every time so we could all work together at the same height.
Last week we did a thing where they were trying to measure the rebound ratio of like super bouncy balls, and kids were using the desks as like a stationary point to like drop a tape measure off the side. They raised them to the top, and then they were like bouncing their bouncy balls and using them, and they got used in a real like scientific exploration. They were measuring data, and they actually used their desks as part of their exploration, and I find it's like they're wonderful in that context.
0.4 or 5% off of an A-. It helps work with working with teams and connecting better with your teammates.
And I think sometimes teachers may believe that I'm going to lose control if I let them stand. If your kids are not engaged, they're not learning, so therefore control doesn't matter anyway. Right? If the kids aren't learning because they're half asleep all the time and they're just not leaving, everything's going through them, they're glazing eyes all the time, then how is it a learning environment for them?
I like personally standing better than sitting because I get tired and a little drowsy when I'm sitting, but standing up keeps me energized and awake. I like how you could like change the height of the desk to make it personalized for you.
You get used to coming in and just getting to your desk and adjusting it and then just standing there and doing your work. I think it's a different learning experience, and it's a lot more fun to walk into your math class and like stand up.
I believe that a standing classroom has a lot of power for the students. It turns some of the power back to the students who are feeling like I'm having to sit in this space and listen, and I can't move. I feel if I move, I feel like I'm creating disruption. It provides them a space to be able to say, I need to have more energy flowing through my body. Let my blood flow so that my brain can work well. And with the LearnFits, has been a powerful experience for me too, as an educator.
All you have to do is just move.